In this video, we'll see list of companies announced bonus, dividend, stock split, right issue in June month 2022. Apollo Tyres final dividend 3.25, ex-date is 16th June 2022, which means you have to buy before ex-date. So one day before you have to buy this stock if you want to get final dividend amount of 3.25 rupees per share. So if you buy today, that is 15th of June, you are eligible to get 3.25 rupees dividend. Signity Tech final dividend announced 2.5 rupees. Ex-date is 16th June 2022. Cosmo Films announced bonus 1:2. Ex-date is June 16th. Which means if you have two stock, you will get one stock. Imico Elecon announced final dividend of rupees 2 rupees and 50 paise. Ex-date is 16th June. Next, ICICI Prudential announced final dividend of 55 paise. Ex-date is 16th June. Next, Vimta Lab announced final dividend of 2 rupees. Ex-date is 16th June. Next, VTM announced final dividend of 90 paise. Expro India announced final dividend of 2 rupees. Bank of Baroda announced final dividend of 2.85 paise. Next, Meg Money Organic announced final dividend of 1 rupees and 40 paise. Ex-date is 17th June. MPS announced final dividend of 30 rupees. Ex-date is 17th June. Plastic Blends announced final dividend of 4 rupees. Agrotech Foods announced final dividend of 3 rupees. Bank of Maharashtra announced final dividend of 50 paise. Ex-date is 20th June. Bliss GVS announced final dividend of 50 paise. Ex-date is 20th June. Next, Britannia announced final dividend of 56 rupees and 50 paise. Ex-date is 20th June. Next, Rana Break announced final dividend of 20 rupees. Ex-date is 20th June. Next, we'll see the corporate action on June 21st. First one is Balaji Amines announced final dividend of 6 rupees. Bansali Engineering announced final dividend of 1 rupee. Nelco announced final dividend of 1 rupees and 80 paise. Next, Panasonic Carbon announced final dividend of 12 rupees. Ex-date is 21st June. Polycab announced final dividend of 14 rupees. Rane Holding announced final dividend of 12 rupees. Supreme Industries announced final dividend of 18 rupees. Next, we'll see corporate action on June 22nd. Ajanta Pharma announced bonus of 2:1 ratio, which means if you are having two stock, you will get one stock. Deepak Spinners announced final dividend of 2 rupees and 50 paise. Dr. Lal Path announced final dividend of 6 rupees. Gujarat Heavy Chemical announced special dividend of 5 rupees. Gujarat Heavy Chemical announced final dividend of 10 rupees. So Gujarat Heavy Chemical announced total 15 rupees of dividend, that is special dividend and final dividend. Indian Hotel announced final dividend of 40 paise. Indian Auto Component announced final dividend of 2 rupees and 50 paise. PNB announced final dividend of 64 paise. Sagar Cement announced final dividend of 70 paise. Union Bank announced final dividend of 1 rupees 90 paise. Next, we'll see corporate action on 23rd June. CAMS announced final dividend of 12 rupees. Dalmia Bharat announced final dividend of 5 rupees. Happiest Minds announced final dividend of 2 rupees. Nath Bio Genius announced final dividend of 2 rupees. Wellspun India announced final dividend of 15 paise. Balakrishna Industries announced final dividend of 4 rupees. Ex date is 24th June. Salsar Technology announced split. Ratio is 1 is to 10, which means if you are having one stock, you will get 10 stock. Ex date is June 27th. SKF India announced final dividend of 14 rupees. Ex date is 28th June. Sona BLW announced final dividend of 77 paise. Ex date is 29th June. Vaibhav Global announced final dividend of 1 rupees and 50 paise. Ex date is 29th June. Next, let's see corporate action on 30th June. Bajaj Auto announced final dividend of 140 rupees. Bajaj Finance announced final dividend of 20 rupees. Bajaj Fin Service announced final dividend of 4 rupees. Bajaj Holding announced final dividend of 25 rupees. Biocon announced final dividend of 50 paise. Gandhi Special Tube announced final dividend of 10 rupees. IOC announced bonus ratio 1 is to 2, which means if you are having 2 stock, you will get 1 stock. L&T Infotech announced final dividend of 30 rupees. Maharashtra Scooter announced final dividend of 80 rupees. Nippon announced final dividend of 7 rupees and 50 paise. PTL Enterprise announced final dividend of 2 rupees. Ratnamani Metal announced bonus ratio of 1 is to 2, which means if you are having 2 stock, you will get 1 stock. Raymond announced final dividend of 3 rupees. Swaraj Engines announced final dividend of 80 rupees. Signe Intel announced final dividend of 50 paise. Signe Intel announced special dividend of 50 paise.